I think I spent a long time not like thinking locally that I'm against him. Like, are we quoting against each other? Do I undercut him? All those sort of things. Now I look at it, I'm like, I'd be better off having a chat to that builder saying, are you all good?
Like the more we all talk, the more we're vulnerable, the more we share stories. Like, it's the only way that our industry is going to thrive. G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. We are back in the shed today for another cracking episode. I am really looking forward to the podcast episode we got coming up today because we've got Ryan from Locspec. He's one of our Elevate members in Live Life Build. He's a fantastic guy, and I can't wait to share your story, mate. Like your growth in the last 12, 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah, the best part of 2 years now. Yeah,
it's been pretty phenomenal. So, thanks for making the trip up from Wollongong.
Yeah, it was a bit of a journey today, but we're here now, so it's all good. The weather's much better up here. So.
Mate, we've had shocking weather up here, but today is a cracking day. It'd be a bit chilly down your way, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was. We had a big storm during the week. We had a tree come through our living room actually.
Oh, so no!
I left my house with about 20 SES people in our living room, so that was fun. But my wife's dealing with that, so she's a bit of a superstar, so she'll be sweet with it. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about your wife a bit today as well, because she's in the business as well, eh?
Yep.
So, mate, let's go back. Like before you became part of Elevate, like tell us a little bit about your background.
So I did my apprenticeship with my old boy. He's a builder, a residential builder, based in a little town called Jamboree, which is, I think there's about 1,000 people there, and we just basically build renovations, new homes in the area. I wanted to be an architect to start, like when I was in school. I probably didn't listen well enough at school to make that a reality. So I just naturally came down the path of Dad told me to stop mucking around at school, so come to work pretty much. So that's how that come about. But I look back on it now, and I still do have a passion for the design part of building. But I've refound my passion for building in the last couple of years, which is I really needed that, and that's a lot to do with like the community I've got around me now, and just the things that we've put in place with both personally and professionally. So that's been really cool.
So did you go down the standard apprenticeship path?
Yep. So I did my time over 4 years through TAFE, and then I did my builder's license when I started in my second year of my apprenticeship. So I literally finished my apprenticeship 1 week. The following week I finished my builder's license. The following week after that I flew to London for 3 years. I was only gone for 6 months, but I ended up staying for 3 years. And probably like most young builders, I thought I was king shit.
So what did you work over there, or just
I started working over there. The full intention was just to just go over there and have a bit of fun. I was there with my now wife. We're just going to work in bars there and do heaps of travelling. We quickly found out that whatever savings we had were gone within about 6 weeks. So we were enjoying our time there, but we very quickly realised that we're probably going to have to get a proper job. So we did that, and that was really cool. And I started as a site foreman over there, which is a little bit different. It was really exciting, but I definitely probably put myself in a position and said I could do things that I couldn't do. Like we built, I was a site foreman for Simon Cow from X Factor. We were building a pretty cool house in Chelsea for him, and it's that part of the journey was pretty cool, but I was definitely promising things that I couldn't do. And now that I look back when I'm nearly 20 years later, I was just incredibly naive of probably the things I knew and what I didn't know as well. So,
but how did it all pan out?
There was a part they were asking me to basically run the lift portion of the job, and they basically told me to go in there and lay the Besser blocks and for the lift shaft. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with there. And then had a big blue with the project manager, and I said, that's not my job. But typical bull in the ring sort of scenarios, like I got my back up, he got his back up, and obviously he was a bit more superior than I was. So he basically told me to pack my bag. But then I went down the path to another residential builder there and did the same role. That one went much, much better because it was much smaller scale, which was cool. Still some pretty decent stuff like that we were building, but not to the extent of, tens of millions of pounds of jobs. But yeah, that one went for that next role went for probably 12 to 18 months, which was really cool, and it gave me a lot of opportunities to see 3/4 of the world actually. So it's looking back on it now, it was a pretty cool opportunity.
Yeah, it's unreal.
So,
Got to do a bit of traveling and
yeah,
build your career as well.
yeah. So there's a different way of building too. Like I probably didn't grasp or realize how much fun that was, and the different techniques that they have, like the underpinning of basements and just in 200-300-year-old houses and stuff like that. It was so cool.
It's crazy how
Yeah,
they
yeah,
dig down under old places over there, eh? And
yeah,
they're basically building underground,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and then dewatering and all that
yeah.
crap.
It was really really cool looking back on it now. But yeah, I was very much running by the seat of my pants for a long time, like I think most young dudes do. But I mean, that's just maturing, I suppose, as well, realizing that you can't do everything at once.
So what
So,
happened when you come back to Oz, mate? Did you get straight back into carpentry and building, or?
yeah, I did. I came back straight back, and I just started subbing to my old man again. So family business. He probably couldn't say no, I suppose. He did need my help, which is cool. He he had myself and my brother as the carpenters, and then we had some subbies and stuff. And I was sort of always somewhat of his, I suppose, leading hand when he wasn't on site. And my brother he's a great chippy, my brother. And then it's probably important to say that we had a lot of blues on site. My brother, my dad, and myself.
It's what I can
I,
only imagine.
I think I quit twice in my 4 years as an apprentice, and my brother quit 17 times. So it's looking back on it, looking back on it now, like we're three of the same people, and we just clashed the whole time.
Yeah.
There's one story there where we were all at a job. We must have all just got our license, and I had a ute, one of the work utes. Dad had one of the work utes, and my brother had the other work ute, and we all went there. My dad had a blue with with my brother. He said, "Fuck yeah, I'm going." So he left the ute there, and then like half an hour later, I had a blue with the old boy as well. So I said the same thing, and we're both going to walk 10 k's home, and dad rings us up with his tail between his legs, saying that can you come back? I'm sorry, we need to get the work cars home. So we finally got one back on him on that one, but like looking back on it, he was my old boy's he's really known for being quite stern and in like you could probably say a cranky prick, I suppose. But he was very very respected, and ironically, and I might touch on it later, he's probably the closest builder carpenter that I've ever met that comes up to one of my great friends, Craig Stewart. So like just the way their mannerisms, their techniques, so that really set me in good stead for what I've been a good chippy. I didn't learn much as a businessman. Like I said, I was quite naive as a builder. But I mean, I just threw myself in when I got home. Went out to start subbing to the old boy. Then I think we just finished a specchy for Dad, and then another bloke, another builder mate of mine, said, "Do you want to come contract to our bigger company?" Like they weren't a volume builder, but they were doing probably 10 to 12 houses a year, and they had needed subby chippies. So I went for myself, and then I went to one apprentice, and at one stage I think I had 5 guys just working for us, and we were just subby chippies. They were doing some like award-winning houses and stuff like that. So we weren't building garbage. So we were earning. What's the word I'm trying to say? We were building good technique, like we were doing the right things.
And it gets your speed up, eh? Like
that was the best. I look back on it now, and I'm like, that's so good. Like that's the part that really helped us a lot. I was fortunate enough to bring my brother with us. He's very much inherited my dad's temper, to the demise of a couple of apprentices I lost over that time. And that was And then while I was while we were doing the contracting stuff, that's where I really learned how to run a business and what to do and what not to do. I did struggle with that for a long time, and then towards the end of it, I got Jack of subbing. I look at it now. I think we subbed to them for about 5 years full time, and at the time I was like, what are these guys doing? Like the builders, like the owners of the business, what are they doing? Like we're out here building all their houses, just so naive, just thinking like the carpenters do all the work, sort of thing. And
Yeah.
then I look back at it now, I'm just like far out. Like knowing what I know now, I'm just like those poor buggers. So
It's hard, eh?
yeah,
Like when you're, well, yeah, when you're on site, just throwing walls up, like
yeah,
you don't understand how much it takes for those packs of timber or those trusses to turn up on site
yeah,
roughly
yeah,
when you're going to need them.
yeah,
All your nails, your fixings, yeah,
yeah. So I look at that now and like reflect. I do a lot of reflecting now, and it helps me mentally process things. I look at that time of my life and the time of my career as it was really valuable. Like I learned a lot of things. Like I learned how to deal with apprentices that don't really want to be there, how to deal with multiple guys on site, and then it was a really cool stepping stone to what we do now as a business. Um, but yeah, I mean the personal side of things, there's still some demons or struggles that I have
So how
from
did
that.
you go, like just before we get into that, like how long did you subby for? Like how long was it before you decided to go out and start your own building business?
Probably 3.5, maybe 4 years,
Yeah.
because I think I just got sick of. Again, I had the attitude of, oh, like, what are these guys? Like, I can do all this myself. And towards the end, it felt very much like I was like running their jobs and organising their plumbers and sparkies and having site meetings with the clients and stuff like that. So I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I should be doing this myself. And we started it. I think we started just doing a couple of bathroom renovations and then like decks, pergolas, bathrooms, extensions, full house renos, and now to like new builds as well. But yeah, there was a few really great learning curves through that process. So
How do you like it's a pretty common story. There's a lot of people in the industry that have come through working for dads or uncles or
yeah,
whatever other family members. It can be a really challenging process, can't it? Because you do get stuck with a lot of bad habits
yeah,
that can be hard to change.
um, yeah. I look at Dad, and hopefully I don't get too emotional with this, but like I do look at Dad and the way the traits that he did teach us, like other than the crankiness that we inherited.
I can't imagine you being cranky, mate. Like the whole time I've known
Can
you,
you tell my team that
you're just
everyone
like a big
thinks?
teddy bear.
Yeah, thanks. That's cut straight from Duayne's mouth, guys. So, um, no, I did for a while. I'd lose my temper, and for a long time before I did anything to probably mentally prepare for the being a business owner. I'd really feel much like over the last 2 years, I've definitely turned myself in from being a builder to a business owner, and that's probably thanks to like platforms like that you've helped us with. But I was definitely a cranky prick as well. While during the subby stuff, because you paid rates, you got to run to make money, and you're putting the pressure on the boys. And I've always been quite proud of the way we leave things and like the quality of the product. So it's kind of like, hey, hurry up and throw those frames. But if the frames aren't plumb, well, when we were subbing, if they're not plumb, you got to come back and fix them anyway. So it's like a really fine line.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, sorry to go back to around picking up bad habits from Dad. I think the only bad habits I picked up from him is probably my temper, to be honest. Which I look back on it now, and it was a good thing that I had a bit of a temper because I had some proper rat bags that worked for me at the early stages of at Locspec. So
So you sort them out.
yeah, I think my brother sorted them out before I did, which was good. But there was a couple in when I lost my brother because we weren't busy enough to have him there for a while. Um, so I kind of had to step back into the grumpy pants shoes. But like I was thinking on the flight up here today, like some of the kids that I had, well they're men really. I'd look back now and you'd still call them little shits because the things that they were doing is just like far out. But then
Like what?
also
What are they doing?
I had a guy that he came to me with. He probably listens to the podcast, so I'll be careful. Um, he worked for me. He came to me as a third year apprentice, and in 9 months he had 42 days off,
Yeah, it's
and then
crazy.
and then he had TAFE on top of that as well. So, and then it got to the point where I said, dude, like you got to. I'm trying, and he come from a pretty bad background too. So I was trying to do the right thing by giving him a job, I suppose, and trying to nurture that. I suppose transition to giving him that opportunity, and it just kept biting me in the ass. And anyway, I said to him at the end, and he was quite toxic as well, so he was filtering into the other apprentices, and so I just had to nip it in the butt. And 2 days later, he come to me and he's like, "Oh," and he actually came to me with 5 mates, like jumping out of the car, and I was on site putting a window in with another bloke, and he came to me and he's got like all these puffed up chests like at me, and he's only like 2 foot nothing. And I'm not small, so I wasn't that intimidated, but it was kind of like, you're a dickhead, mate. Like, pull your head in. I've done the best I can. Like, you lost your job because of the things that you've done. Like, I really did. And then their mates, like, and he had his mates that were like 40 years old just chirping at me like, you're a prick. And I'm like, mate, I've never not once paid you. I've never done anything wrong. But I mean, again, knowing what I know now, there's a lot of systems and processes I probably could have had in place to avoid stuff like that. So, again, I've got to learn from it.
Don't know,
So,
you don't know, eh?
yeah, 100%. So, I mean, that was a part of the journey that eventually eventuated into us going to and becoming more lockspecing by ourselves, which was a good stepping stone. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It is crazy, mate. Hey, like it's for anyone that hasn't owned or run a business, like it's almost like it's not worth wasting your breath trying to explain things to them, mate, because
yeah,
it just goes in one ear and out the other.
yeah,
And I do think it takes a pretty special person to, like a lot of people have a crack and want to go out on their own, but it does take special people to push and stay in business
yeah,
and continue to improve things and end up with a good business.
yeah,
Because a lot of businesses fail.
yeah,
So you got to be a special breed to keep pushing on.
yeah. I look at the crew I've got now, and they're gonna love the shout out. But like, we're probably the smallest crew I've had in a long, long time. I think there's only 3 guys on site. We've probably got that again in the office, but that's sort of another story. But the guys I've got on site actually want to be there. They actually want to come to work. They actually want to grow and develop themselves as well. And I mean, I do take a little bit of pride in that too, because like, you know, you start to attract people that what you're putting out there is who you attract as well. So that I'm really proud of that now. So yeah.
Did you think you would be where you are now? I think, can you tell us a story about how you got involved with Elevate?
Yeah.
Because you come on board and then you went, or you did our Launchpad.
Yeah, I did Launchpad. Please don't take this the wrong way. I did Launchpad probably 8-9 months prior to, probably a bit longer, maybe 12 months prior to joining Elevate. And I remember doing Launchpad, and I did it half-assed, truth be told. And that was probably the part where I was starting to do full house renovations, our bigger projects. And I remember going, oh, that's really awesome, like putting those things in place, and I'd like sort of put it in the shelf and come back to it later. And then I had a really, really difficult job where the clients, and again, it's a lot of ownership's on me about it, because I didn't sort of set the standard of what I expect as them as a client as well. But we were arguing all the time. The solicitors had to get involved for like late payments and those sort of things. And I did lose money in hindsight, and the conversations I've had now, I lost a little bit of money, but not much. But that's probably been the best job I've ever had, purely because of what's come out of it. I look at it now, and that was the catalyst to join Elevate, because I'm just like, I either stop building, or I make a decent crack of it. And then when I did Launchpad, I was like, oh, and we spoke about joining Elevate. I was like, I'm not spending 10 grand or whatever it was, on a membership to be a builder. Like, that's just crazy. That's just stupid. I would pay tenfold over on that, the things that I know now. And the relationships I've built in Elevate now. It's just, you just don't know what you don't know. And the little tricks and the conversations that you work with the other builders and stuff like that has been amazing. So
Yeah. No, well, mate, your growth, like it's shown in your growth. Like
yeah,
you've really come out of your shell a lot since you've joined, but like not only I think have you had enormous growth in your business, but like personally as well, I've seen massive changes.
yeah. Well, I think anybody that really knows me quite well, this is probably the most awkward thing I can do is public speaking. And um, I was only talking to Anthony the other day about, I've done quite a few best man speeches. I think 4 or 5.
There's probably a few cans of courage involved there, but
Yeah, yeah, probably. I know 1 or 2 did, but you can't do that as you run a building business.
nah,
But I really don't like talking about myself, but I also love putting myself out there if it's going to help other people. Like I can, hand on heart, when I joined Elevate, I was in there for probably a month or 2 before a live event was on the Gold Coast, and we did this thing called like a hot seat. And I remember pretty clearly that I think yourself and Amelia were standing there and say, "Oh, everyone's going to get up on stage and say that is going to be going on the hot seat." So I'm like, "All right, well, everyone's going to do it. I'll do it." And so I just put my hand up to do it straight away. And I love putting myself in uncomfortable positions, I suppose. And then the irony of, I think only 3 people had to do it that weekend. I was like, "Damn it, I could have put away." But what I took away from that is like it was quite vulnerable, which was, there's a lot of growth and vulnerability. What I took away from that was like, holy shit, I can do that. Like, that was really cool. Holy shit, I'm not actually going as bad as what I think. I've just got so much great things going for me. I really took a lot away from that literal, I think
there's
it
a
was
lot
like,
of self-doubt in there.
yeah,
Like,
I do. I suffer from massive imposter syndrome and a lot of self-doubt. And it's conversations that you have with like the community, and now so many great mates that help with that. Like this week alone, I've been nervous for probably 3 weeks to have this chat. But the people I've been able to talk to about it, like, they're just like, for the love of God, just see yourself the way we see you. And I take a lot of that. I took a lot of that today thinking about that. And I'm just, a lot of people would be in the same boat as me. And
most people, mate.
yeah,
Like I'm still in the same boat as
yeah,
you. Like I have imposter syndrome just as much as everybody else. But
yeah,
like if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to get the rewards.
yeah,
But like you dropped a bomb just saying like vulnerability is where it all starts.
yeah,
You've got to surround yourself with like community and people that make you feel safe enough that you can be vulnerable.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the things we're most proud of with Live Like Bill. Like I don't believe you'll find a community anything like it anywhere. Like,
no,
and yeah, when you're vulnerable, to me, that's when the floodgates open.
yeah,
That's when you really start to understand what you need to work on, and you become more open-minded, and take ownership for things.
yeah. I think it took me quite a while to know that I had an issue, I suppose, because it took that one particular job that made me think, all right, there's better ways to do things, and conversations with yourself and other members and stuff like that. I was able to grow, and then I honestly can say that I enjoy being a builder more than I ever have now. We're still having issues, and I don't think those issues will ever
I don't think like
ever go away.
any business mate that says they don't have issues is kidding themselves.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
especially a building business, like every single day is a school day.
yeah,
You're just constantly learning how to do it better.
yeah. So yeah,
So tell us more about this personal stuff, because look, the building stuff's one side of it, but a lot of the time, like if I say it all the time, like broken record, like if we're not right, nothing around us can be right. And like I know, like since joining Elevate, like you've had massive personal growth, but
yeah,
relationship growth with wife, with kids, like
yeah.
it's been across the board.
Yeah, so I would say my biggest struggle is, and hopefully I can hold it together. My biggest struggle is definitely my relationship with my kids. I I often have got a bad habit of saying that they're my priority and not showing it, I suppose. And I really struggle, like internally, I really struggle with that because I know I can do so much more. Like my oldest son, we clash a lot. He's got, and it's okay, but like he's got ADHD, and we really don't have a relationship that I was hoping to have. When I was growing up, I used to think I want to be an architect and I want to be a dad. Like they were the two things I'm like, that's what I want to do right in this world. And I can honestly say I'm not the best dad I want to be right now. But I know that I've definitely put things in place, and understanding part of it, like understanding especially my son's condition, and it's not the end of the world. It's important to know that, but understanding the way his brain operates to talk to doctors and like psychologists and those sort of things. There's even I've been diagnosed with ADHD and I medicate as well now. But to find the way their brains work as a 10-year, or at the time he was an 8-year-old, and what his brain is missing with that like diagnosis is just like far out. But being a typical dad and a pretty busy dude, when they do something wrong, the first thing I'm doing is I lose my temper. And I know I'm not alone in saying, like, a lot of dads are like that. And I'm just at a stage in my life where I really want to prioritize being a better dad than what I have been. And I know I'm not a bad dad. I definitely know that, but I know I can be a better dad. It's
So what do you mean by be a better dad? Like just more time?
Yeah, more time, being more present. Like and I know a lot of people say put your phone down when they're around, like that, just little simple things like that. I mean, I journal a lot, which really really helps reflect on the improvements I've made. But I typically journal for professional stuff, probably equally, if not more, than what I do about the personal stuff. So that's probably showing me that my priorities aren't aligned with my personal side of things. Um, this year I've made heaps of improvements. So I'm coaching his footy team, coaching my other son's soccer team, and it's so rewarding. So I love doing that. I I loved footy growing up. I never made it to the NRL, but I made a fairly decent level. But to be able to help your young bloke and show him those sort of things was it's really cool to all right, this is what I should be doing, as clocking off at 4 o'clock and then being able to go and spend time with the kids is what I should have been prioritizing years ago.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty important. Like the whole part of the healthy life is healthy relationships
yeah,
and all that sort of thing. I'm the same, mate. Like I definitely know I can be a better father and a better partner. Like it's something I'm not sure. I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD. I'm positive I do have it. Like
yeah,
I find it really, like I've got to really put in a lot of effort to focus on
yeah,
those types of things.
yeah,
Like I don't know if you're the same, but
yeah,
like I know I want to do it
yeah,
and I know I should do it, but yeah, I'm not sure. Sometimes it just gets a bit lost.
yeah. I mean, it's for me the biggest switch I've made over the last few years around like my understanding of the way ADHD works is how people's brains operate differently. And as an adult, to see your kid, your young bloke, he hasn't got the same like coping mechanisms that the other kids have got. Like straight away, you're like, all right, what have I got to do to help him and things like that. So there's definitely massive improvements I can make with my relationship with him, but it's baby steps, I suppose, at this stage.
Yeah, but it's good that you're very aware of it. Like
Yeah,
I think that's the number one thing. Like once you become aware of it, you work a lot harder towards it.
yeah, yeah.
The,
And there's so much information out there that you can talk, like you can educate yourself with it. So there's countless podcasts that talk about it. There's you gotta want to do it too, though. That's the biggest thing. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I get so much satisfaction out of now just seeing the smiles on my girls' faces like that. Like just to be able to sit back every now and then and watch them. They're right into their horse riding now. Like just to be able to sit on the sidelines and watch them and see the growth in them like that.
Yeah,
Like for me, that's pretty much what I live for now.
yeah,
Like I love it.
yeah,
Be the same with you sitting back seeing your boy playing his footy and soccer and
yeah, yeah. I do. I get a lot out of it, and like even like they score a try, the first person, or they score a goal, the first person they turn around and look at you and smile is me, and there's so much joy in that moment. It's just like far out. It's pretty cool. I don't know if he's going to be. He goes all right, so I don't know if he's going to like make it to NRL. He supports Parramatta Eels for some stupid reason, but I don't know. I don't know where that's come from because I mean my mum supports Parramatta, but it's definitely hasn't come from mum. It's just I
yeah.
think they're just all like Mitchell Moses for some reason. I don't. But anyway, but yeah. There's
Can't hold it against them.
no. I mean it's his choice, I suppose, even though it's the wrong one. So, but
Um,
yeah,
but even like your relationship with your wife as well, because she's
yeah,
in the business full time now.
yep. So
Like,
we've always gone down the. I think it's a pretty typical path where she was a stay-at-home mum for a while, and our business was paying her a wage. Um, as the business grew, I needed more help in the business, and she's come on board at one stage. It was like 1 day, 2 days, and now she's 3 days a week, but really she's probably four and a half because I'm always, hey, can you do this or can you do that sort of thing. She runs the office and the account side of things, and she's like to see her growth in the last 12 months and where she was 2 years ago to now is just yeah. I mean everybody most husbands love their wives, but I'm just
or you'd
I
hope
hope
so.
so. Yeah, you've got to be careful. But I've grown more in love with her, I suppose, because of seeing the growth in her, and like she is a really insecure person like myself, but to see her grow, um, I suppose professionally, is I'm now even more in love. It's just yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. She's doing things that she was never trained to do in the business or at school, but she's doing things that she's just got heaps of drive and most mums have got that. Like it's just a natural thing. But yeah, she's killing it. So love it.
I get like Camille and I get reached out to a lot because everyone sees what we do and knows that we work together, and
Yeah,
it's like some people just say it's like ridiculous, they could never do it, but I think it's the best thing ever.
I love it.
And look,
Yeah,
I won't sugarcoat it. Like we definitely, like I don't know, probably the first 3, 4, 5 years, like there was a lot of arguments,
yeah,
and look, even now there might be the odd argument and we butt heads on things, but um, I think it's learning to respect each other
yeah,
and understand what ticks each other off and
yeah,
what each other can handle. I know that's been a massive one for me to learn with Camille. Like I can handle a lot of shit. Like I don't care how like people just keep throwing shit at me, I'll just keep taking it. But um like with everything, the workload, the whole
yeah,
lot, whereas Camille gets very anxious if
yeah,
she starts to get too overwhelmed by how much she's got to do or manage or whatever the case may be, and then you throw the kids on top of that and all
yeah,
the other stuff that comes with it, um, that's where I've sort of learned I need to step up a little bit,
yeah,
not just at work, but like we can't both be working in the business and then her
yeah,
looking after the kids. Like I need to help with the kids, I need to cook dinner, I need to do things, and
yeah,
again, I'll put my hand up. Like I definitely drop the ball on the cooking the dinner thing
yeah,
quite regularly, but yeah, I got to consciously put some effort into that. But I just think it's the best thing ever, mate. Like
yeah,
to be able to work together, get on well, be able to schedule our lives and our businesses around what our family wants to
yeah,
do and holidays and
yeah,
horse like kids events and things. Like I just think it's brilliant.
yeah. I actually enjoy having my wife in the business more than I thought I would, to be fair.
Yeah,
And I love to be able to say my wife's in the business because it's kind of like a feather in your cap sort of thing that you're making it work as professionally and personally. Because,
mm,
like you said, some partners wouldn't be able to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's kind of like this is pretty cool that we can do that. Like
yeah,
we can, if the kids have got like a sports carnival or something like that. All right, let's both be there for the kids. And all right, I might have to work back another half an hour that night or something like that. But we're both there and the kids see that,
It's
that's
huge.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's huge, and I think that's all part of running a successful building business is structuring it to suit yourself, your life, your kids, like um, yeah, or your holidays and those types of things. I know with Camille, another big thing's just been um, like me understanding when she needs time out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you see it, but
I'm not very good at recognizing that. I do, but I'm also, um, my wife, she puts a lot of things in place to make herself busy instead of prioritizing herself. And that's probably where we argue, to be fair, because I'm like, can you please just go get a massage, or can you go get in, like, whatever, go for a walk or something like that. But she's like, oh, I've got to do lunches, or I've got to go. So yeah, I'm still learning to politely kick her out the door to go do those sort of things. But I think you've got to make that a real key sort of goal to be able to prioritize their mental well-being as well as your own.
and
So
like how do you find it managing the like do you work from home or you got an
yep,
office? Yeah.
yep. Oh, we're about to make the transition into an office space, which is really exciting because I mean, at the moment, um, I mean, no kids have done wheeze on the fall and fallen through. I know the story. Um, but at the moment, like especially in rush hour before school, and I'm on a meeting or a call or something like that, you can hear all the screaming and the foot steps upstairs. But it also gives me the opportunity, like if she's really struggling, I can run upstairs and pull them in the line. So professionally, it's probably not the best setup, to be fair, but personally, it's if I can be there to help, it's all right. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So mate, where to from here? Like you've had a lot of growth in the last few years. Like what's on the radar?
Um, I am at a bit of a crossroads at the moment, to be honest. But um, personally, I want to prioritize my personal well-being. Definitely, I've got quite a lot of passion around having conversations with dads and other builders and stuff like that. But business-wise, I mean, we've got a lot of work in pre-construction currently, but they're months away. And thankfully, we've got a little renovation opportunity for ourselves for the next 6 months. So going forward, my pipeline is really important to me to get right as part of the business. So that's I've always struggled to reach out to designers and architects. That's something that I've gotten really much better at. I don't know if I'm perfect at it yet, but I used to have these conversations. Like if I was to reach out to a designer, I would. I think I even was at one stage writing scripts of how I should like up through other business training and stuff like that. The pre-call script and stuff, really, really helpful. But now I can ring up a designer if a plan's come across our table and I can just chew the fat, which is really like good because
Yeah.
I'm growing as a business. So um, yeah, that's professionally that's basically where I'm sitting with that one.
Is it because you do the odd specky for yourself as
Yeah,
well?
yeah,
Like is more of that stuff on the radar, or like now
yeah,
that you've like, because you hear the story in the industry the whole time, like every builder wants to do their own projects, but
yeah.
like how has that
I'd love
scenario changed a little bit now that you've figured out how to run your business better?
to. I think I'll always probably aspire to do one of those a year. I definitely don't think it's as appealing as what it probably was once upon a time. If you've got to borrow money, in particular, if you haven't set it up properly, like and again with your accounting side of things, you got to make sure you've got the right like who's borrowing the money, who's building, who's those type of things. There's a lot in the background that's got to be considered. It's not just as simple as going to buy a block of land for 500 grand, going to build a house for 700 and selling it for 1.5. It's just doesn't work like that. But I know that my business can now more so than ever now, and the things that we've learned over the last few years is it can handle a lot more than what it could have 2 years ago, 12 months ago. So
Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
important to point out. Like I feel there's a lot of mum and dad developers and investors and things out there that are making a lot of money off the back of builders that are running shit
yeah,
businesses
yeah,
because they're literally making the cream that
Yeah.
the builder should have been making as part of his profit
Yeah.
by doing the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something I'm a big advocate for. Like part of getting builders running better businesses is to, I guess, stop people taking advantage of them. To
Yeah.
be blunt, I guess, but it's definitely not what it's all cracked up to be, is it? Like, yes, you can make good money out of it, but because I know when we started doing our own developments, like you sell them or you keep them and you rent them out or whatever, and you think, oh man, this is fantastic. Like I've made whatever, 100 grand, 400 grand, whatever the case may be, depending on the job. But now, like doing everything that I do, like being able to make the proper margins through doing work for clients and not having all the stress of having to fund the projects, manage the projects, keep the team busy, like all those types of things, just I think it's freaking fantastic. But like you say, we still want to do the projects on the side because it is like a little bit of cream. But do you run your projects as if you're doing them for somebody else? Like you set up a company or whatever trust, or however you structure it, but you build it for that person?
No, so the one I've done most recently, I kind of was almost like a do and charge thing. So very, very naive and very unprofessional of myself to do that. But I won't be doing it like that again because, like, for one, I didn't make as much money as I would have thought because we really spec'd it up to go on for some awards. But in hindsight, like I would have been 100% better off just going to build $1 million property for a client. Because now I know my numbers, now all the things that I know I've got to put in, and then I wouldn't have had any risk whatsoever. Like knowing that you're running a good business and there's no risk in doing that, and you do deliver a good product. So it's not as if they're going to come back to you and take you to the cleaners. But I don't know. There's a really fine line, I think, but you can't do it just going in there with not educating yourself and having the right team around you. Particularly like your accountant and maybe financial advisor and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's like everything. It takes a big team effort. You got to make sure you search around, get the right advice and things. We learned all that the hard way as well. Like now we do a development and it's like I treat the development just like I would treat any other client. Like it's set up properly, and my building business quotes it for that other entity, and we treat that entity as a client. We still do all the contract. We still do variations, all those types of things. Because I want all my entities to make money. I don't want to just do developments for myself. And my building business looks like it suffers or has made a loss or hasn't made a lot of money, but I feel like I've made some money by selling a project. I think people get really sucked into that. So it's good. I love talking to other builders that are doing developments and growing their businesses and things, because it's really, really important that not only builders but trades, like we all talk to each other, eh?
Yeah. So for a long time, like I said earlier, I suffer from imposter syndrome, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. But I'm okay. I've learnt to live with that now, actually. So that's a positive. But I would say about 6 to 9 months ago, there was a local guy that I honestly thought it was competition, because I've never had a conversation with him. I honestly thought we were pricing against each other. I got to know him just through reaching out, just checking in. He put something up, and I reached out to him, say, hey, just checking in to see how you're going. And we catch up every single week now to have a chat, and the stuff that he goes through is just like, holy shit. We've never been competitors. I look at it now. He's doing like your $4 or $5 million builds, and but mentally, we've been able to be there for each other and bounce off each other. Some of the stuff he's got to go through. Hopefully he doesn't mind me mentioning this, actually, but some of the stuff he's had to go through over the last couple of months, it's just those simple conversations that we've had together has really helped each other, which is really, really cool. And I take a lot of enjoyment out of that. I take as much enjoyment of putting myself out there for other people if it can help them. That makes me feel good, and I don't know if that's a selfish thing or not, but I like being vulnerable if it's going to help other people, and I love having those conversations. And
I'm the same, mate. I don't think it's been. I don't think it's like I think that's what helps.
Yeah.
Like the more
Yeah.
we all talk, the more we're vulnerable, the more we share stories. Like
Yeah.
it's the only way that our industry is going to
Yeah.
thrive.
Yeah.
Because otherwise everyone's just batting their head against a wall,
Yeah.
dealing with the same shit that everyone else has already been through. So why not spread the knowledge and
Yeah.
help each other out?
Yeah. Like I think
Share the load.
I think I spent a long time not like thinking locally that I'm against him. I'm against him. Like, oh, are we quoting against each other? Do I undercut him? All those sort of things now. And now, and not that particular builder, but like a generalization. Now I look at it, I'm like, I'd be better off having a chat to that builder saying, "Are you all good?" Um, like I know for a fact that I get put up against one particular builder all the time, and we just won a job very recently that we were, I think, another 20 grand more than them, but the client chose us because of the relationship that I and the client had. But that builder's been slagging me about it, and I'm just like, maybe let's just catch up for a chat because I'm not trying to undercut you. I'm just,
It's a very old
yeah,
school mentality. Like
yeah,
there is no competition.
yeah,
Like builders. I think that whole, like, architects have created that competition
yeah,
through the tendering scenario.
yeah,
Because ultimately that's all the tendering scenario is. It's a competition to be
yeah,
the lowest price.
yeah,
Like simple as that.
yeah,
And that model is never ever going to get anyone a great outcome.
yeah,
Like I wish there was data on it, but I would imagine that I would highly doubt that most contracts that get awarded through tendering scenarios end up being that value.
oh, zero,
Yeah,
maybe, yeah,
I would
yeah,
say it's near
yeah,
zero.
yeah,
Like there's everyone just knows. Like reality is like you do it if you win a contract through a tendering scenario. Like there is always going to be variations and
yeah,
things change, but there shouldn't be competition in the building industry. Like people, this has been coming up a lot in the last couple of weeks actually. Like the whole industry needs to really get away from that race to the bottom and the focus on the price,
yeah,
because the focus needs to be on the value that
yeah,
the building business adds to the homeowner, whether it's through improving their life, through building them a healthier home, whether it's through just creating a new lifestyle for them through a new home or renovation, like whatever. Like there's a million things it can be.
Where do you see that conversation happening with clients though?
Well, I don't talk about costs at all, really.
Yeah,
Like my whole conversation with clients now is all based around on the value that I can add to them.
yeah,
Like, and I really see, like, we're seeing a lot more of it. The more that I educate, like, we've got a client at the moment, actually, probably a really good example, that I've just seen this big, like, they want a healthy home. And we're really going down that path heavily, to the point where we're creating our own healthy home specification. But the architect on this particular job is just really missing. Like I feel like we have meetings and I take in what the client says, but the architect has missed it quite
yeah,
badly, and we've got the first round of drawings or just preliminary sort of ideas, and like I've literally looked at it for 5 minutes and gone, that is absolutely nothing like what the client is trying to achieve.
yeah,
And so I've had to put my big boy shoes on and step in and say, hang on a minute, like that, I'm like, this is only my personal opinion, but from everything that I've heard at the meetings, that house isn't what you want.
yeah,
And it's a hard decision to have because now I got the architect on my back,
yeah,
like I'm the bad guy. But I think where builders really need to step up a bit more is, like, we wouldn't have any work if it wasn't for clients.
yeah,
So we're there because the client trusts us to build them something, or they've come to us because they've seen our socials, they've heard our advice, or whatever the case may be. They've come to us because they've trust us.
yeah,
So I take that pretty personally, and I want to make sure that I give them as much information as I possibly can. I make it very clear with clients that you may not like my opinions, but I'll always put them forward. My opinions are only ever based on my interpretation of what you've told me you want.
yeah,
and it's always along the lines that I want to make sure I get you the best product I can for what you want to spend with me. And like when you start having conversations like that, clients just fall in love with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to what you've asked for, like we've really had to step in on this job, and it's over a few months period now, but it's really gone on this long journey from the client pulling the brakes on the project, wanting to do more homework around materials, coming back and deciding that they're more than happy to reduce the size of the house to make sure they actually get materials that they want.
Yeah,
right. To now, actually only in the last couple of days, them going, well, look, we're going to increase our budget by so it started at 800, went to 1.2, and now they're talking about a $2 million budget. And that is all purely through education, because they now have a really good understanding. So we've sent them links to things. We've actually now had 2 site meetings on past projects. We've put them in contact with people that I don't have enough expertise in so that they can do their own research. And they just love it. They're like, this is what we've wanted. So these guys actually have tried to build twice before. And both times they've ended up with drawings that didn't suit what they wanted, and they felt like people weren't listening to them.
Wow.
And now, after dealing with us for 3 months, they're like, this is what we've wanted the entire time. We just wanted someone that was going to sit and listen to what we wanted, not give us everything they wanted, not tell us what their business was going to give us, and educate us give us the options. And they're just over the moon.
So on that though, like you've clearly got a business to teach builders how to run bit better businesses. Do you believe like the associations could do more to help educate clients around? Because in my business, I've struggled with like we don't do probably as bigger projects as what you do, and it's mostly young mum and dad, so they've got.
But I don't think it matters on the size of the project, mate.
No. But like I struggle a lot around educating clients of what their expectation of what things cost, to what the reality of what things cost. And I like to think I can articulate things pretty well, but it's still like I'm constantly banging my head up against the wall. And I do believe it's, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but there's shows like on the block and on those, like telling people that you can build a house for, a couple $100,000 and being able to walk away. I just really think that the missing link could be something like an association that links the builders, the clients, and the owners to help train them and educate themselves. And I know there is platforms out there.
I'm not sure. Like, obviously, Amelia and I do that a lot. Like, she does the undercover architect thing as well, and teaches the homeowners a lot of stuff. But look, mate, again, it all comes back to pricing. Like, you look at everything that's in the media. Look at all the like I've just seen a few this week from our associations. Like, everybody is banging on about the cost of living and the affordability of housing, and how much price increase, like how much it's increased to build something over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. And then, like, you see the numbers that have come out in the last 3 weeks with, we're on track this financial year, like literally in a few days' time, end of this financial year, to go over 3,000 builders going insolvent in a 12-month period.
Wow.
So, like, that's 3 times what it was pre-COVID. So, and that just proves my point and the data that I keep talking about. Like, I firmly believe that over 80% of builders are trading insolvent. So instead of the industry associations and bodies and governments banging on about how much it costs to build, they actually need to fucking figure out how a building business operates.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing a lot of tier 1 builders, or like tier 1 builders that have been around for, like, I think there's one at the moment that they're worried is going to go under, and they've been around for 100 years. And that's because, like, they spruik about it. Like, they turn over, you hear all these stories about these builders turn over hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars and making 2% profit margins.
Yeah.
Like, it's unsustainable, which is getting proven now by the numbers of builders that are going broke. So I am I dead set believe that with everything we teach at Live Life Build in our Elevate program, um, I'd love to get in front of government, mate.
Yeah.
I'm so confident that I can reduce the cost of housing. We can build more houses. We can definitely deliver better quality.
Yeah.
Through running better businesses.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, you think about like how many people come into our Live Life Build program. Like, you've seen a lot of members that come in and the improvements they have. So, like, if you can take the average builder, which we know that the average builder in Australia builds between 1 and 3 jobs a year, they're generally on the tools themselves. But if you give them the right tools, the right advice, the right systems and processes, and they can go from building 1 to 3 jobs a year, not making much money, running around like headless chickens, not delivering good quality, or not the quality they'd like to deliver, because they're all too focused on trying to build cheaper so they can win more work.
Yeah.
And actually get them running a business where generally most of the time it's by putting someone in place to help them with administration.
Yeah.
They can 2 to 4 times their profit, their turnover, their business by becoming more efficient and actually delivering clients better products. So just by learning how to run a better business, you're talking one builder. If one builder goes from 1 to 3 homes a year to 2 to 6 homes a year,
Yeah.
like, you imagine if every single builder in Australia had that growth.
Yeah.
That solves our housing problem. Like,
Yeah.
we've just built enough houses to house everybody.
Yeah.
Then you add to that the builder's running a profitable business. So you imagine if we get every builder in Australia running profitable businesses, that will reduce the cost of housing, because we are all paying more to cover the costs that are getting lost by builders going bankrupt.
Yeah.
Like, I know 2 businesses this financial year that between both, one's a hardware business, one's a metal business. Between those 2 business, like, this is only 2 businesses, between 2 businesses here in Southeast Queensland, they're going to write off over $11 million in this financial year of unpaid invoices from builders that can't pay their bills or have gone broke.
Wow.
So that money just doesn't disappear. Like, that money is built into the cost that I pay for my metal and that I pay for my hardware.
Yeah.
So if we can get every builder running profitable businesses that actually pay their bills, all of our costs will come down, because every business in the building industry, all the supply chain, transport, everyone will stop having to cover bills that aren't getting paid.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge, mate. I love it. I'm like, I just need to get in front of the right people.
Yeah. How do you do that? Who are you going to talk to?
Just keep talking shit on this podcast, mate, and more people listen. And
We're not talking shit. It's real. That's the best part.
It's real, mate.
Yeah.
It's real. Like, I just tell it how it is. So, but look, it's builders like yourself, mate, that are putting in the effort. Like, if like you coming here today telling your story will inspire more builders to reach out, get help, work on themselves, improve their business. Like, it's growing. Like, the tidal wave started.
Yeah.
Like, you were up here a few weeks ago. You saw my event.
Yeah. That was amazing. It's fortunately I've been to a few live events, but nothing like that before. Just to see the growth in the room and the young. I liked seeing the young dudes there. I don't think they were there just for the beer, but like everyone, like
Well, I can tell you they weren't, mate, because we were very. Oh, sorry to butt in over there, but we were pretty conservative on our beer amount that we needed to get.
Yeah.
Like, I think we only allowed like 2 or 3 beers per person.
Yeah.
We had a pallet and a half of beer left over.
Wow.
So there was not a lot of drinking.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing, though.
Which is, like, you'd think in a building industry you put an event on, like.
But if anything, that's a good, like.
I think it's great.
The people were there for the right reason.
Yeah,
that's
I think it's great.
Yeah. That's what I really enjoyed, seeing the young dudes. I was able to take our leading hand up with us, and he loved it. He was starstruck when he saw you. He was starstruck when he saw Craig. But I was the same. I can still remember the first time I spoke to you and to Craig and a couple of the real key members of Elevate. But when at that event last week, we were all there. We were all there as mates. We were all there sharing information. the Elevate members that were on stage were sharing their stories, and I talk to those guys weekly, and I still look at them as very much heroes. Like, yeah, the information that you can get by a simple conversation of another builder or another young dude is just limitless, I reckon.
Yeah.
So,
We've all got to talk more. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
my we'll definitely do another event next year, because the feedback's just been unreal. Like, even people that weren't even there, like, everyone that's there is just talking about it. So, like, people that aren't, like, we're getting messages from people that weren't even there that are like, hey, like, how do we book for next year? Like,
yeah,
we've
right.
got to make sure we show up to this thing. So, look, I'd love to get 2,000 people next year.
Yeah.
Like, we ended up having 832, I think it was, for the day.
Wow.
So yeah, next year the goal is to try and crack 1,500, 2,000.
Yeah.
But again, that just ties into what I just talked about. Like,
Yeah.
every builder that we can get running, and not just builders, like tradies as well. Like, every person in the building industry that we can get running a better business, more profitable, more successful. For me, the winner out of all this is the homeowners.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to get, homeowners need to start getting what they should be getting.
Yeah.
Like, and we're going to see a lot of change with that, with the new codes and things with healthy homes and all the new rules and regulations and stuff. So look, I'm really excited about the future. I think it's fantastic. Guys like yourself sharing stories, like, it's all helping.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the new code changes is going to be the best thing. Like, we're finally building houses the way we should be building, and there's a bit of a mandate that it has to be done that way now, which I think for the last 10 or so years there hasn't been any accountability for that. So it's pretty exciting, actually. And like you said, the best thing is the owners, the clients are the ones that are going to benefit from that, as well as the young dudes coming up too, because now they're learning how to do things properly.
Yeah. Actually, mate, before we wrap it up, you've mentioned that you've had lots of apprentices over the years and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get more young people into the industry and get them to stay?
To stay, I would say training. I this might be contentious, but I believe the incentives that are offered to the apprentices is the wrong way around. I believe they've got to incentivize the builder, obviously, to give the money to the apprentice, but hey, make sure you go buy like your tools, or let's take you to a training seminar or something like that. That's how I think it.
100%.
Because that's how it should be. I don't believe it should be like, here's 10 grand, go buy your $8,000 kit and keep the rest, sort of thing. I believe bringing your team to like training events, taking them to show them. Like, not long ago we took our team down to the Frames and Truss company, and like, it doesn't sound like a fun excursion, but I'd like to watch the guys learn, and I learnt a lot as well. That's got to help. It's just to keep them interested in the industry. I really believe that they've got to have a goal, and they've got to have a boss that wants to help them with that goal as well. So it's like a two-part thing, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I agree 100%, mate. The incentives need to be given to the employers.
Yeah.
Employers need to like be able to, and look, it's hard because like a lot of employers will just pocket it.
Yeah.
But there needs to be some sort of way that's used to help them get a good toolkit.
Yeah.
Get the right training.
Yeah.
And I think another big part of it's being healthy as well. Like we got to get young guys being healthier and turning up to work. Like, I don't know what it is these days, but mate, I used to have some absolute benders, and I would still turn up to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and if it was on me, like but I just knew I had to work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure about your team, but we just see so many days off from our younger people.
Yeah. I mean, of my team now, I don't think any of us are drinkers now. But yeah, the young bloke I spoke about before, I can guarantee, like, it consistently was a Friday or a Monday that he was taken off, and I'm just like, I'm not an idiot, mate. Like, it's just that sort of stuff, like that education, I believe. And I do believe that the generation is shifting. Like, there's less partying and whatnot, but probably they're starting to value growth more than what they probably would have in the past. So That's something to look forward to, I suppose, finally. So.
I hope so, man. I hope you're right, because my girls are getting to that age where they're not far off going out, and I hope it's all about growth and not partying.
You got a pretty decent place to have some parties here, though.
Yeah, that's mate. Look, really appreciate you flying up today and having a chat. And I know you were hanging around. We're going to do a group podcast. We got the Godfather coming in, so looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah.
But mate, keep doing what you're doing. Like I'm super proud of you. I think it's fantastic. Your growth is one. I've said this to you a few times, but you can see in your posture and your glow how you've changed.
Huh.
Like you're more confident in yourself. You speak better, and I just think it's fucking awesome.
Appreciate it, mate. That's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, look, hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, all those types of things. Tell every person in the building industry about this. If you haven't been to my website, duaynepearce.com, and got a hold of your merch, make sure you get on board with it. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Are you ready to build smarter, live better, and enjoy life? Then head over to livelifebuild.com/elevate to get started.
Everything discussed during the Level Up podcast with me, Duayne Pearce, is based solely on my own personal experiences and those experiences of my guests. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. We recommend that you obtain your own professional advice in respect to the topics discussed during this podcast.